In a quiet, secluded village surrounded by ancient woods, life moved slowly, governed by age-old traditions and whispers of superstition. Everyone knew everyone, and every life event, births, marriages, deaths, was marked with communal ceremonies. One such ceremony was a funeral, the final farewell to those who departed this world. But no one in the village could have foreseen what was about to unfold during one particular funeral, a story that would be retold in hushed tones for generations. It was a somber day. The sky was a canvas of dull gray, heavy with clouds that promised rain but never delivered. The villagers gathered in the clearing, dressed in black, heads bowed in respect. The deceased, a middle-aged man named Elias, was known for his solitary lifestyle. He wasn't well liked, nor was he particularly disliked. He was just there, living on the edge of the village, keeping to himself. Few people attended his funeral out of affection, most were simply following tradition. The procession began, the coffin placed on a sturdy wooden cart drawn by a large black horse. The animal, a magnificent beast, was usually calm and obedient. But on this day, it seemed uneasy, almost as if it sensed something the humans couldn't. It pawed at the ground, its ears flicking back and forth, its breaths sharp and erratic. The villagers noticed, exchanging uneasy glances, but no one said anything. After all, a horse couldn't truly know what was happening, could it? The path to the burial ground was a long one, weaving through the dense woods that bordered the village. The forest, ancient and untamed, was a place of legends. Stories of spirits, strange lights, and inexplicable occurrences had been passed down for centuries. As the procession entered the woods, the atmosphere grew heavy, the air thick with an unspoken tension. The horse became more restless with every step, its movements jerky, its snorts louder. Halfway through the journey, the horse stopped abruptly. It reared slightly, its front hooves striking the air, then slammed them down on the cart. The villagers gasped as the coffin shook violently. A loud crack echoed through the trees as one of the coffin's wooden planks splintered under the horse's hooves. Panic spread among the mourners. Some tried to calm the animal, speaking soothing words, while others backed away, muttering prayers under their breath. Then, it happened. From inside the coffin came a sound, a faint, muffled noise that silenced the crowd instantly. At first, it was barely discernible, like the wind whispering through the trees. But then it grew louder, clearer. It was a cry, a human cry. A voice, trembling and desperate, calling out from within the coffin. The villagers froze, their eyes wide with disbelief. Could it be? Was Elias alive? Two men, braver than the rest, stepped forward. Their hands trembled as they worked to remove the broken coffin lid. The crowd watched, holding their breath, as the planks were pried apart. And there he was, Elias, pale as a ghost, his chest heaving as he gasped for air. His eyes darted around wildly, filled with fear and confusion. He clung to the edge of the coffin, his voice hoarse as he whispered, "Help me, please." The villagers stepped back, some crossing themselves, others muttering prayers. They didn't know whether to be relieved or terrified. Elias had been pronounced dead, his body cold, his pulse gone. The village elder himself had confirmed it. Yet here he was, alive, breathing, and trembling before them. It defied all logic, all understanding. Had there been a mistake? Or was this something far more mysterious? As Elias was helped to his feet, he began to speak, his voice weak and fractured. His words sent a chill through everyone present. He spoke of darkness, an endless void where he had been trapped. He described hearing voices, whispers calling to him, beckoning him deeper into the abyss. He spoke of a figure, a shadowy presence, that had followed him, lingering just out of sight. "It didn't want me to leave," he said, his voice breaking. "It tried to pull me back." The elder stepped forward, his expression grave. He was a man of wisdom, well-versed in the old ways and the tales of the supernatural. He listened carefully to Elias's words, then turned to the crowd. "This is no ordinary event," he said. "Elias has walked the line between life and death. Such journeys leave their mark. He has returned, but he has not returned alone. His words sent a ripple of fear through the villagers. Elias was taken back to the village, but his return was far from a joyous occasion. He became a man haunted by what he had seen, by the voices he claimed still whispered to him at night, and by the shadow that he swore followed him wherever he went. The villagers kept their distance, afraid that whatever had brought him back might also take them. In time, Elias withdrew completely, living in solitude on the edge of the woods. The villagers rarely spoke of him, but they never forgot what had happened. Some believed it was a miracle, proof that life could triumph over death. Others saw it as a warning, a reminder of the fragile boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: the events of that day would remain a mystery, a story whispered by the fire on cold, dark nights. And so, the tale of Elias and the restless horse became part of the village's folklore. A story of fear, wonder, and the unknowable forces that govern our existence. Perhaps some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved, locked away like a coffin buried deep in the earth, its secrets waiting for those brave enough to uncover them.